For RCR Wireless News, I'm Sean Kinney, and I'm talking today with Ron Malenfant, who is Cisco's Global Service Provider IoT Lead Solutions Architect. So Ron, thank you so much for taking a little bit of time to talk to us about Cisco's role in enabling the Internet of Things.
Thank you, Sean. Thanks for having me.
You know, I feel like I read about a new Cisco industrial partnership, this Jasper platform, one of your various smart city projects, almost weekly. So it seems like Cisco is really investing heavily in the Internet of Things. Can you tell us a little bit more about why this business area is so important to the company going forward?
Yes, Sean, Cisco looks at this area, it's really all about the digitization, right? So our customers really have to move forward and digitize their assets, basically connecting those physical devices to the digital infrastructure. And so we're really starting to see a transformation here, both in hospitality with companies like Airbnb revolutionizing things, and then the transportation side with companies like Uber, and the same with video distribution like Netflix. So it's really important for Cisco to help our customers, and importantly, on our side, to really help our service providers help our customers digitize those assets.
When you say digitization, that kind of, to me, speaks to the combination of IoT and cloud and converged networks, but I was just hoping you could tell me exactly what you mean when you say digitization.
Yeah, so it's taking the Internet of Things concept where we're connecting the things, but it's about the data. It's extracting that data, bringing some intelligence, doing some predictive analytics of that data, tying that into the applications of the verticals and enterprise customers so they can basically optimize the efficiency and the business outcomes that they're looking for. Everything from aircrafts, right, and understanding when those things fail and what parts fail, and in the operational efficiencies that not only the Internet of Things, but that's really where the digitization comes in to enhance that piece of it.
You know, and I know, speaking of customers, I've read a lot and spoken with people about Cisco's partnerships with industry leaders like AT&T in the service provider community, and over on the automotive side with General Motors. And the work's just coming up with some really cutting edge IoT solutions. So as we approach 2017, Ron, what can we expect in terms of new solutions that are geared towards making the world a little bit smarter?
Yeah, great question. Cisco's doing a lot with AT&T and service providers across the globe. There are about 8 million connected vehicles in the U.S. on the AT&T network that are all powered and enabled by Cisco's Jasper Control Center in that area. In the IoT layer, that's what they call the connectivity device platform. And out of those 8 million vehicles, we have a tremendous opportunity for growth globally for connecting all these vehicles there. The other thing what we have going on is those vehicles then connect to the service provider virtual packet core. So we virtualize the packet core. We're providing virtual policy enablement for those devices to connect into the network.
I was hoping you could tell me a little bit about the customer experience that's associated with the example you used, the combination of the AT&T Drive platform and Cisco Jasper. What does that let me do from a customer standpoint?
Yeah, so one of the things Sean does is it really kind of takes away from the complication, right? It decouples that complication from the end user perspective, and it allows this whole other set of services, both for you as a user, but also for the car manufacturers, because now that vehicle becomes basically a platform to enable a whole other set of services, right? So infotainment, the service understanding of the vehicle's history, the service records and things like that, the fleet management. So it really becomes an enabler for a whole slew of services once you get the device connected.
And a connected vehicle is really just one example of how the IoT is creeping into all of our daily lives. Others would be fitness trackers and home automation systems, for instance. But Ron, what needs to happen to really see that consumer-facing IoT scale up in a big way?
Yeah, no, great question there, Sean. And I'll tell you, that's one of the areas that service providers have a very unique value to play. From the consumer standpoint, things have been very complex. So we need to make that less complex. Allow these things to connect and get onto the network and these applications to be very seamless. So this is really important there. Also security, right? Security is top of mind today with a lot of recent events that have happened in this area. So security, both all the way down from the endpoint, layered throughout. The endpoint, the fog, as Cisco calls the fog, which is basically that cloud being pushed down to the edge, compute devices as far out there. You can think utility areas, and then through the network. And this is where the service providers have a great opportunity to provide network layer security, and then even the cloud security side, and then actually securing the applications. So really security is also very top of mind for the consumers and the rate of adoption here.
So as we watch the IoT continue to take shape, we've seen, smart lighting, smart meters, smart trash cans, smart everything. I'm curious, Ron, from your perspective, what's the most interesting and biggest surprise you've seen come out of that smart category?
I have so many here I could talk about. I really think just in a high level buckets, I think the augmented reality is really going to start to shape how Internet of Things work. I think the artificial intelligence, decoupling my hands from my smartphone in some cases and being able to use my audio to kind of dictate and turn the lights on and off. We've seen examples with Amazon Alexa, the Google One Hub, and others really doing that. Another one in particular is like the at MIT Media Labs is a company called the SUFA, and they make a smart and connected bench. Great solar-powered bench, cell phone charging stations, but there's a bunch of analytics behind it. And ultimately, when the drones start delivering packages, they all need a place to charge. And so this bench, kind of is looked at in that way as kind of morphing as a platform to deliver many different services. And really, it's the same across the board when we talk about lighting in cities and parking and other applications. There's an example in the smart cities. For one, you just talk about all the innovation that's happening. There's bike sensors are being leveraged. We're doing a lot across the globe. We're working at CityVerve, which is Manchester in the UK, and Cisco and BT to make that city smarter. There are technologies they're putting on the rental bikes where there's sensors, and basically it creates a crowdsourcing application. So now every bike is a sensor node for the city, so they can now understand vibrations, so they're potholes, so they can get that. They can understand air quality. They can understand noise. They can understand the traffic patterns. So this crowdsourcing application of these rental bikes is providing, tremendous amount of valuable data back to the city.
Yeah, I'm really glad the interest has developed in terms of smart city, because with the urbanization trends, it can't happen soon enough,
Yeah, very much. I mean, cities are becoming competitive, and that's the key. I'm actually out at the Wireless Broadband Alliance this week. We just had a Connected City Advisory Board. We had a lot of the top leaders, San Francisco, San Jose, New York, Singapore, across the board, all talking about, how things are really, tremendous, and the citizens are demanding this. They're competing with resources. They want to reduce the carbon emissions. They want to reduce the energy, such as low voltage light, LED lightings that are happening. So there's a real lot of opportunity happening in the space.
Yeah, it really seems like so many of these IoT products are really just bounded by limitation, and that sort of open-ended aspect of it sees a lot of new market entrants come in, try their hand at product development. So I'm curious, in such a crowded market, Ron, what does Cisco do to really differentiate itself and stand out?
So what we do is Cisco's really big on from the network side, and especially when we're talking with Cisco and our service providers, their network is also as important. And really the programmability of our network has been forefront. So to make that network programmable, to open up those APIs, to build out innovation centers that we've done throughout the globe, bring in ecosystem vendors, hand those APIs to creative partners and companies. Cisco can't do this alone. We don't want to do this alone, right? There's some players in here and an ecosystem. It's very important. And to really open that up, we see our customers, our service providers creating hackathons, coming out, opening up the city data platforms, opening up information in the cities, and then allowing creative people and minds and universities and researchers to write apps that no one can really think about in any of these other companies.
Well, Ron, I really appreciate you giving us an overview of some of the different things that Cisco is doing in the Internet of Things space, and we'll be sure to check in periodically over 27 to see how those develop.
Awesome. Thanks, Sean.